Good morning, welcome to Rustaholic. I'm Patrick, and we're still working on this 1963 Chevy Corvair Part 4. Who would have thought? Not this guy. I thought we were going to be done with this. But after everything that we've gone through, I think we've finally come to the conclusion that the pump is just bad, and it was failing the whole time. Our attempt to go to a mechanical pump didn't work, and so we're just not going there. At this point, I just want it to be able to run and drive. It's almost the end of spring, and that is like prime time for this car because it doesn't have heat, so it doesn't do a lot in the winter, even in Florida. But I digress. So we're gonna put in a new pump today, and hopefully we're gonna be done with this. I checked the forums, got some advice. I went with a pump from a company called Racers. It was a little pricey. I'm gonna just say it out there, but it comes with some extra stuff for safety, which we'll take a look at. And really, it has really great reviews, and I just want this car to be drivable. And so far, for the most part, we handled the leaks pretty well with the rebuild last year, and we just can't keep fueling it. So if this will solve it, it's totally worth it because it's been driving really nicely as long as it has fuel. So all right, let's jump right into it. We're gonna open up this box and we'll see what we've got. Okay, at a glance, here's the kit. Like I was saying, it's from Racers Inc. and they're out of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. It has the main pump itself. It's supposed to be up to 4 psi. It's got a nice little turnaround pipe here, and it's got some sound deadener that comes in, which looks pretty nice. And they have this because they want you to actually wedge it in between the tank and the firewall. So we'll see if we're going to do that or not, but pretty cool. Also, it has this inertia switch, so that's if the car gets hit, it'll shut off the pump. But let's be honest, if we get hit in a Corvair by a Ford F-150 broadside, we're pretty much donezo anyway. But I digress. Let's take a look here. It's got some really great instructions, actually. So we're going to take a look at those. And yeah, it even came with some a step bit, so that's pretty cool. And of course, some hoses and things like that. So overall, pretty nice kit. It wants us to go ahead and start with this inertia switch. I think I'll go ahead and do that, but just because of the way that my wiring is, I think I'm going to put this in the back. They want it looks like on the inside near the firewall, but since my pump isn't wired that way, I'm going to do it a little different. Surprise, surprise, surprise. All right, let's take a look at the back and see about getting this the switch installed. All right, let's do it. Hello. All right, what are we looking at here? We've got this inertia switch, and really, we're looking at 3 wires here. We've got a ground, and we've got our blue wire and a green wire. I believe the blue wire, this is what instructions are for. One of them goes to the hot, and the other one is going to go to the pump. So basically the power from the pump is going to go through this switch. And I think the intention is, if this gets hit really hard, it'll flip the switch and turn off the pump. You know, safety. So everything that I got going on in this car runs through this box. So we're going to see if we can put it somewhere near there. Let's check it out. All right, this should start looking familiar. This is the switch that we put in a couple episodes ago. But really, all the power comes in here. From here, goes to the switch. And I think what we're going to do, and this goes to the pump. So we're just going to go ahead and put this switch on the back firewall right there. And the blue wire goes to the pump, green wire goes to power. So I think we can just install it in line with this switch, so I can still have my switch to turn it off manually if I want to, or while it's on, I can have this inertia switch to keep me safe. So just going to install it there, wire it into the switch, and then we should be all set. Okay, here's our final setup. We got it all dialed in. Our inertia switch is in. We've got power coming in through here. It goes through the switch, back into this switch, and then from this switch to the pump itself. So we've maintained all of our functionality and added some safety. So I think that's all good for here. The last thing is they want you to make sure, push that button down to reset it. Otherwise, I still have my power disconnected, and at this point, we'll get up under the car and see what we can do about this pump. But yeah, part one, done. All right, this is what I've been staring at for a little while now. This is my current setup. It comes in from the tank, pump, out to the engine bay there. Got some wires, power, grounds, etc. There's the tank. Now, the racer's kit actually wants you to wedge the pump into this hole. Kind of like, see if I can do it. Like that. Which is why they provide you with the turnaround pipe. And I can see why it makes sense, especially with the sound deadening. Push it up into that hole. It's going to be pretty quiet and you're not going to be able to hear it. It's right next to the pump. That really is the way that you should do it. There's not a lot of room to move around in here, and I am not draining the pump. And I think it's also because I think trying to replace this would be difficult in this location if it fails. I'm not against it, and I think it's the right way to do it. And if you have the patience and want to drain that and you trust it, go for it. You should do it that way because that's the way they say. I think I'm going to take a shortcut just temporarily, at least. Let's see if the pump works. I'm just going to put it here. I'll keep the hoop, and in the future, if it is proving itself solid, then I'll take an opportunity as it comes up to put it in there, because right now this is a car we're going to keep for a while. So, but I'm going to put it here. I'm going to continue to use the sound deadening, and it's going to be something like, let's see if I can do it, something like that. It's going to go right there. So anyway, that's the grand plan. It's kind of hard to see in here, but I'll try to get you set up, and we'll see if we can't get this thing dialed in. So, and yeah, that's a patch floor, because, you know, the original's gone. This car's great. I love this thing. Well, just finished installing the pump, and I'm just gonna just, you know, turn off the time lapse, only to find out I never turned it on, so I got no footage of that. Sorry. I'm a rookie, you know? I'm trying to get cars done, not so much with the video, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, it wasn't so bad, and I did veer from the instructions just a little bit, but let's check it out, see where we're at. I always get a kick of how many things I end up collecting when doing a specific job. Like, I don't know. Anywho's, here's the pump. It's in. I did use the sound deadening. I think this is good. I had to get a little bit longer screw to make sure the strap worked. Just rewired it in. So this is my power here, and here's a ground. This is a collection of grounds that goes, actually there's one of these wires that goes all the way back to the battery, just to be sure, because, you know, the metal in this car is solid, so grounds work pretty much everywhere. But anyway, yeah, we're all set. I think I'm just gonna turn it on real quick, connect the battery back up, turn it on, see if it pressurizes, see if we have any leaks before I put it on the ground. And then, yeah, I think that's it. I think it'll be back to a test drive, so this might end up being a short video. All right, let's turn it on, see if we've got any leaks. I hear it. I'm not seeing any leaks. Pretty quiet. Okay. Not seeing any leaks, so I think I'll clean this up and let's get this thing back on the ground. That's not good. I'm getting 0 fuel pressure. Pretty good. Let's see where our PSIs are at. PSI. Oh, I'm so excited. That's great. All right, I think I'm just going to, well, I noticed that the oil pan is dripping. So I put a lot of pressure on it when I had the whole weight of the engine on it, trying to fix that harmonic balancer. I think I'm gonna go ahead and just try to tighten that up. I know I, squished that gasket. I need to get a new one. I haven't done it yet. But I'm just gonna try to tighten them up just a little bit, see if that'll help squinch that off a little bit. But otherwise, I think we're ready for test 2, which is gonna be a little bit further. That was like a 10-minute drive. We're gonna have to go for like a half hour or so. All right, back in a bit with test 2. We'll see if it can maintain that 3 PSI. So far, so good. Okay, test 2. We're gonna run some errands. I gotta go get an axe and some chicken food. And yeah, I could probably get that at the same location, but we're gonna split it up just to make this trip longer and see how she does. So hopefully it's good. I did tighten up the oil pan bolts. They were just like a little bit loose. I think I got them up to 60 inch-pounds, I think is about the max. And they only twisted, like a quarter turn or something. Not too much, but I don't know. Hopefully, maybe that'll be enough to just slow it down a little bit. But otherwise, so far she's running good. So here we go. Driving test 2. So I've been running errands for maybe 35, 40 minutes, still running good, and it's holding at 2 PSI, which I'd like to have 3, to be honest, but if it holds at 2, that's enough. So tests aren't over though. My wife and I are gonna go and do another longer test, a lot more stop and go traffic. We'll see if that works out. So we'll catch in a little bit, but so far, so good. All right, I'm back, and I've got some updates updates. I've been driving this thing around, and honestly, I'm getting some mixed results. If I drive it for short periods, it does fine. It starts out at about 3 psi, and on anything under a half an hour, you know, short, quick trips to the store, when I get back, it's around 2.5, and it seems okay, right? I took it on a couple much longer trips, over 45 minutes, almost an hour. Actually, the last one I did was over an hour. And on both of those trips, once I got to my destination, you know, more than halfway there, it was in like the red zone, like in the 1 psi range. And when I got back from my hour trip, it was to basically 0. It was, I mean, the crazy thing was, it was basically 0, less than 1 psi at the location. So I drove all the way back under this 1 psi, which seems strange. It never stranded me, and I never actually broke down. But when I get back, I still look at that gauge and I'm seeing like 0 psi. So this is just, it's not confidence building, is what I'm saying. So I feel like I'm still having an issue here. I called Racers Rods, talked to Craig, real nice guy out there, and we did some troubleshooting. He wanted me to do a couple tests real quick. He's sold hundreds of these, hasn't had any issues with the pumps, and is really curious about my situation. So one of the tests is the deadhead test. So just turning the pump on with the engine not running and seeing what the gauge says. So I just tried that, and it says 3 psi, but the car is cold, and so that's kind of expected. I'm not gonna have a lot of time this weekend to actually run another one of these long tests. So I'm just gonna start it right now and let it run and see if we can reproduce it. It's not exactly the same, but it's all the time I have right now because I got some other things that need to get done. So that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get it started, and we'll see how it does. But so far, it's not great. Oh, come on. Maybe it finally ran out of gas. Alright, we'll see how she does. It's been about 25 minutes so far, and it's down to 2 psi. Check it out. We started at 3, so it is on its way. I am coming out here every 5-10 minutes or so and giving it about 30 seconds of throttle. That's about all I can spare right now. We'll see if I keep doing it, we'll see if we get the same result. All right, back in a bit. Okay, I've got updates. It's about 40 minutes now, and we're down to about 1.5 psi. So it is still going down, albeit slowly. But here, check it out. Sorry about the sun, it's just what it is. All right, team, we've hit the 1 hour mark, and I don't hear it anymore, to be honest. And yeah, I did have a fan, you know, getting some circulation while we were running this test. But yeah, she's off. So she ran out of gas. Pump is still on. Yep, I can feel it. It's still trying. So at this point, it's deadheading with it hot. After 1 hour, it ran out of gas. So shoot. Well, maybe I did get a bad pump. let's hope that's the story. I think we're gonna have to call it for this episode. I'm gonna get on the horn, we'll talk with Craig, see if we can't work something out. I don't know. I forget what episode we're on now, but it's way too many for this Corvair. This shouldn't be that hard. Anyway, appreciate everybody's support. We'll get there eventually. So please like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, we'll catch you on the next one.